the Total Wine delivery guy. So I got a free delivery, so I had to take advantage of that. And I got $5 back and 10% off. So the
What?
podcast is finally paying the bills, guys.
Nice.
But on the flip side of that, the guy shows up and it's the same guy that I always have. It's the same delivery driver, and he goes, $1 today, Aaron.
Wow.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Oh, no. Man, he's got your number, huh? $1 today.
Just one?
I also like that. It sounds like he wants you to be getting more. Almost like he was disappointed in you. Like, oh, just one today?
He knows I'm capable of.
Welcome to Stop Wasting Your Wine, a wine review podcast where we waste our wine so you don't have to. On this episode, we review
a sparkling wine from France.
Welcome back to the show. Thank you for joining us. I am Joel, and I am joined by two of the most sagacious people that I know.
Oh, no.
Colin and Aaron. How are you guys doing?
He used a word I don't know, so I don't know how to respond.
You don't know what sagacious means?
I do not.
No, sure I do. It is an adjective having or showing keen mental discernment or good judgment. And good judgment.
Shrewd. So I'll tell you what, I have the Google results up, and it's that word for word. So Aaron, you just showed your cards, buddy. But
the loud typing in the background didn't give it away.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't know what to say today, so I tried to find a word that nobody knew, and I think I succeeded.
What's the word again?
Sagacious.
Sagacious.
Yeah.
You learn
Keen
something
mental
new every day.
discernment. Good judgment.
Shrewd.
It's a compliment.
I appreciate that,
I feel shrewd.
Sure. I feel like my mental judgment is pretty keen on some things. Like wine, I feel pretty keen mental judgment about that, but I don't know about the rest of my life.
Well, fortunately, this is just a show about wine. So
That's true. It's just a wine podcast, so yeah, no, we're good.
Yeah. It's just wine. Remember, that was our t-shirt.
It's just wine. That's right.
It's just wine.
You can buy that on our future merch site, stopwastingyourwine.com/merch.
Is this a real thing? Because if you just put that out there...
You said future merch site. We don't have that yet.
Future merch site. We don't have it yet.
Go for it. Everybody listening is going to be
like and subscribe, and maybe we'll have a merch site someday.
Exactly. Hey, we're getting there. We could get in there. Aaron, how's that whole 30 thing going over there? Was this a cheat day officially?
Yes. Cheat hour. So here's the funny thing about Whole 30. Like, there's really no cheating at all. It's like you got to do 30 days, and as soon as you do any of the things, you kind of blew it. So I'm not I don't feel super comfortable being I'm doing Whole 30. I am following 99% of the Whole 30 program, with an exception of the 3 or 4 days during this month that we are recording this. I didn't think it was fair to make you guys sit around while I smell the wine. Someone suggested the other day, they were like, don't wine tasters though often just sip and swish and then spit it out?
They do.
Yeah.
That is true.
I looked at them and I was like, do you picture me
what a waste
buying 4 bottles of wine and spitting it out?
Yeah. No.
For my health?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. No, for sure.
No, so I'm excited. I am excited to cheat with you.
Whoa. Hey now. Not that kind of show, buddy. Not that kind of show. Hey, if you're doing 99% of Whole 30, is that Whole 29.3?
Whole 20 wine.
Okay.
There's a joke for you. That's a joke.
Math jokes.
Boom.
We got him.
There's people all over the internet. They're like, do Whole 30, but give yourself a glass of wine a night, and a bunch of stuff like that. Whatever. One bottle of wine, a week. That's not that bad.
No, not bad.
This is another bubble episode, which I must say, a little surprised by that, Colin.
Right,
I know you chose this wine, so let's actually take a look and get into the details of this bottle that we're trying, and then, Colin, I'm going to be intrigued why you chose this one. So, Colin, tell us a little bit more about what we're drinking today.
Absolutely. This is a Crémant de Bourgogne, which is a sparkling wine from the Burgundy region of France. This is from the producer Louis Bouillot. It is 100%.
Bouillot.
Thank you, Aaron.
I got to remember it somehow. That's how it's going to happen.
Yeah, that's fine. This is 100% Chardonnay, or Blanc de Blanc, as you might see on the label. This is from the appellation of Nuit Saint-Georges in Burgundy, or Bourgogne, and it is 12% ABV. We picked it up at Total Wine, and we paid about $26 for it.
All right, and I gotta say, I'm a little surprised. We just had some bubbles a couple weeks ago. Has it been that long? We know we did away with our bubbles per baby rule. So,
That's right.
Colin, why bubbles? Why now? Why'd you pick this one?
Yeah, sure. So when we were drinking the Vouv, I said that I believed I could find a bottle of sparkling wine at a better value, just out there. And while this isn't necessarily one-to-one comparison, because this is 100% Chardonnay versus a more classic champagne mix, I thought this would be, hopefully a good bottle to compare the value to. Now, again, not necessarily the wine per se, but I'm talking about value, price, enjoyability, this versus the Veuve. So if I say I think I could find something with better value, I want to try to go out and find something with better value. So that's what this pick is all about.
You're a man of your word.
I try to be.
You're trying to give the people at home some options. I respect it.
This wine could be terrible. So, we'll see.
But it's good timing because people are still coming off of New Year's Eve and they're thinking about the bottles they bought. And I was really hoping that Veuve episode would be an episode that we can say to people, like, this is the bottle to go grab before you go out. And it, it just wasn't. And so I'm hoping that...
Still disagree.
And that's fine. And that's fine. You're allowed to. You're allowed to.
Go on.
I'm just happy to be on the side of anyone for once. And, I want us to find that alternative thinking to what this bottle could have been, what that bottle could have been.
Yes, we all agreed that from a value perspective, there were probably better options out there. So yes, no, I too am excited to give this one a run.
Yeah, and this one's also almost exactly half of the price, which is another reason I wanted to find something, not on the super cheap end, maybe something a little bit higher end that still really shows the difference in value. So I hope I did that, and we will see.
Can I also just say, I love having a bottle of bubbles in the fridge, man.
Me too.
Who knows when you're gonna want to just need to celebrate something or just want to enjoy some bubbles, man. So
I know we talked about this in our other sparkling wine episode, but I just love the category of sparkling wine. Like I just want to be drinking sparkling wine. You don't need to be celebrating, just get into it.
Sure.
So let's get into it.
And it's tasty and it's lighter. It's usually sitting around like 12%, and you can enjoy a couple glasses without crawling your way back to wherever you came from. Like it's
yes. Agreed.
Well, I agree. Let's get into it. Before we do that, we're going to do something a little bit different here. I like how we've been shaking it up a little bit.
Yeah, lately. We have been. I like that too.
One thing
try new things.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what this show is all about. So today, Aaron is going to teach us a little something.
Oh, man.
It's time for a history rant with Aaron.
Oh my God, do you have your own drop now too? What is this?
Yeah, that was Aaron's first attempt at a drop. Not bad.
Very good. I'm impressed.
I make my very own drop for my first segment. Did I take the time to do that? Yes, I did.
I appreciate that. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, the
preparation is unmatched.
Well, the preparation was required because, as we have determined on this show, I know almost nothing about wine. And yet, I do love learning about history. And what I have found, especially when we talk about champagne, is that there is such an aspect of...
Who's talking about champagne? Who's talking about champagne here? I'm not.
When we've talked about champagne, when anybody in general in the world talks about champagne, there's always the joke. There's the joke of like, Oh, well, for it to be champagne, it has to come from the Champagne region of France. That joke has weaseled its way into like everyday life. It has to be from X region of X.
Not really a joke, though. That's the truth.
No, but it's like all people know about champagne, right? All people know about champagne is that, and in general, not the wine experts out there like Colin, but most people, what they know, if they know anything about champagne, they know that it is champagne because it is sparkling wine made in the Champagne region of France. And for me, spending, now 25 weeks with you gentlemen, I learned in the beginning, I was like, okay, I think I got this. So it's champagne if it's from Champagne, and everywhere else is sparkling wine. And I remember I came in, I was like, what the hell's Prosecco? And we're like, oh, that's sparkling wine from Italy. And then I learned, then Cava is sparkling wine from Spain, and Sekt is sparkling wine from Germany, of course.
I don't know if it's always that angry, but
It definitely is. And I thought I had a good grasp on it. And then we started talking about this new wine. And so I went down a little bit of a history rabbit hole about this particular estate. So first of all, this is not Champagne. It is Crémant. And so I had to go down and I had to figure out what that is. And I had to learn a whole bunch of other French words that I apologize right now for butchering. And maybe, Colin, at the end of this, you can edit me to sound more French. That would be great. Thank you. And so, in France, they have tiers of quality that I know Colin has talked about before. And so there's the Appellation d'Origine Contrôlée, which that's about as close as I'm going to get.
not bad.
That determines, in order for a wine to be from a certain region, it has to hit the specific qualities and expectations of that region. And there are 8 regions in France that produce Crémant that fall in that category, in that AOC category. And so the sparkling wine that we are drinking today from Louis Bouillot,
Bouillot.
that's actually
Louis Bouillot.
that's actually Louis Bouillot is a very old wine producer, going all the way back to 1832, founded by his father, Jean Bouillot. And at that time, it was actually very difficult, obviously, to have any kind of consistency in wine quality. This is before any kind of major laws to kind of check what's going on. And it was actually kind of difficult to break out, different areas had their own control. And so he kind of produced that wine for quite some time. So he was born in 1832, and then he started trading in 1877. He didn't have his first abroad sale until 1916. And then thanks to something called World War I, they actually got a big boost when the war ended in 1919, and the Treaty of Versailles, as well as a whole lot of other things, kind of made it really hard for the Germans to do anything. They weren't really allowed to sell or make money in any way because everyone was kind of mad at them about everything. And so champagne was obviously in high demand, but so were the sparkling wines around champagne. And so that kind of gave Louis Bouillot a boost as he took over after his dad. And then it wasn't until 1975 that the Burgundy region was recognized as a official AOC Crémant region. That's the background of all this. Now, the fun little connection to Champagne, though, is that the Burgundy region is like a 3-hour drive from Champagne. It's a 3-hour drive. Now, the other areas that are allowed to produce Crémant are a little bit farther away. Some are a little bit close. I think 2 of them are pretty close to Champagne. The other ones are not. But as far as the grapes they use and the terroir of those regions, it's actually relatively similar to Champagne, especially in the Burgundy region. And the Burgundy region itself is one of the regions that uses Chardonnay, which is one of the grapes used in the Champagne region as well. And so while it is considered Crémant and is not considered Champagne, it's not in the same category as if you just say this is a sparkling wine versus this is a champagne, because it is so geographically similar. And additionally, another piece of being a Crémant is it has to have the same process as making champagne. So they all follow the traditional method, just like champagne. So when you're thinking about purchasing a sparkling wine and you want to get champagne, but you don't want to pay that champagne price point, and you don't just want to walk in with just sparkling wine, a lot of people feel like they have to make that jump to champagne. But in reality, Crémant is actually very similar to champagne. especially if you get to the regions that are closest to the Champagne region. And you can get a wine that is a very similar quality, a very similar taste, a very similar experience, and often for a much lower price because, quite frankly, a lot of people just don't know what Crémant is or that even exists in the first place.
Very true.
So, in conclusion, gentlemen, what I'm trying to say here is very simply that it's not just sparkling wine versus champagne. There are other French sparkling wines that are closer and a better bang for your buck. And today we're going to try one of those in a Crémant.
Wow. Amazing.
Well done. That was awesome.
That was very well done. I will also say I have heard the term Crémant a lot before. Never knew what the heck it was or all of that information and how, actually closely aligned to Champagne with the traditional method and even the regionality and all that good stuff that it actually is. So very interesting. And I'm more excited about trying this Crémant with you guys.
And to that point, if you just see a bottle of Crémant on the shelves, it says Crémant de Bourgogne. If you don't know anything about wine or France, you would have no idea what that is. Yeah, that's
I would never have picked this bottle up.
Right.
I wouldn't have even identified that it was sparkling wine without the little mushroom cork.
Yeah,
like
sure.
That's for the layman, that would be my giveaway that this is some bubbly, but I wouldn't know what this was, especially with the lower price point. I would just think it's trash.
It almost sounds intimidating too, huh?
For sure. Yeah, and Burgundy makes some world-class Chardonnay. So, they probably, I doubt this is at $25.99. This is from the top sites. But that being said, the region is an excellent Chardonnay growing region.
Very cool. All right. Well, we learned a little bit about the region of what we're going to try here and why we should all be a little bit excited about this. So let's go ahead and give it a shot.
Tastes like wine.
All right, guys. So tell me what you're getting. I'll go to you first, Aaron.
I smell alcohol for the first time in a week. No. I'm getting a lot of those citrusy kind of notes.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a sour apple kind of like. Maybe it's not as lemony as some that we've had.
Colin?
Yeah, I would
a little bready.
I would say this is definitely much toastier than the champagne that we had. Absolutely much toastier. You do get some of that lemon, some of that green apple. I get a tiny bit of almost like white peach, if that makes sense, or underripe peach. It's not like a juicy, ultra ripe peach, but it's just like peach essence.
I get a little like grass, just a little bit of grass. Overall, everything that I'm picking up here is just like green, little green apple.
Yeah,
definitely, like you were saying, some like limey, and then I just get a little hint of a grassy note in there too.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all.
All right, let's give it a taste.
Okay, let's do this.
All right, I'll go back to you, Aaron.
Why?
You want me to go to Colin first? We can shake it up. You want me to shake it up? I'll go to Colin. Colin, kick us off.
Sure. So right off the bat, you definitely get quite a bit of that toastiness. I wouldn't necessarily call it a toasty boy. It's not quite toasty boy status.
It's not a certified toasty boy.
It's not. No, not quite a toasty boy. And then with the fruit, I would agree. A lot of citrus. The acid is very bright. There's no doubt that this is a high acid wine. But then you also get a nice creamy mouthfeel after it, which I really enjoy. Like the first sip is the first hit is like really bright, but then it kind of evens out and flows nicely over the palate, and it leaves a really nice kind of buttery, soft sensation on the palate after the sip. So I'll leave some of the other tasty notes up to you guys. And
no, I'm glad you said that, because that's not something I would have thought about or identified in my own. Like I got the acidity in my first sip, but then you mentioned like that kind of like creamy feeling, and yes, 100%.
Although I'm gonna say the first sip that I had, I thought y'all were crazy. It was funny because as I was taking my first sip, you, Colin, were saying the whole brioche thing and the breadiness, and I was like, this guy is crazy, because for some reason, I don't know if you guys experience this too, but it is super, super acidic and super, like the first time I drank it, the first thing in my head was briny. Like that was the big thing that came into my head, and then it was kind of gone. And for a second, I was like, these guys are crazy, or am I just not picking up on something? My next sip, I totally got it. Like it was like my mouth had kind of adjusted to what was going on. I think we've seen that in some other wines too that we've tried, but just another thing where it's really weird how sip 1 to sip 2 was drastically different. And then that's when I started to get kind of that, and to me, it's still, it's at the end. It's not, you said it's not a toasty boy. It's way not a toasty boy in my opinion. So much so that it's only a little toasty to me at the end after you've gone through all of the green and the citrus. It's like, oh, hi, I'm also a little toasty here.
Oh, hello. Hi.
Oh, hello.
You thought I wasn't toasty, but I'm a little toasty. Don't be fooled.
I think I just started with that note because it was so much more noticeable in this wine than the last one. I didn't experience almost any toast on the Veuve, but I get a little bit more on this one. So
something that it just kind of made me think of, it's almost like if you're familiar with balancing like the music in your car or a sound mixer or something like that, where you play with like the bass and the treble a little bit,
yeah, for sure.
And it's like those kind of like citrusy notes and all that is very much like the treble. And then
find your audience, man. Keep going. This is it.
Yeah, absolutely, right. And then like the breadiness and the pushing it through, powering it through, and like supporting it and keeping it going. It's like that bassiness kind of part to it.
Great analogy.
Just made that analogy.
Love it.
I'm sure people have done that before, but
no, that's awesome.
I know.
I love it. Yeah, and then
you might be the first.
You might be, but I think it was a great analogy. But I'm also getting just a little bit of, like I mentioned, a tad bit of that peachy note. But it's just, again, it almost lives with the breadiness on the back of the palate.
So let's move into what we actually thought about this, guys. Let's do it.
Yeah, but did they like it? It's time for the review.
All right, so I think we actually did a pretty good job this round of sticking to the notes and the structure when we were talking about our tasting. So I'm intrigued to hear what you guys actually thought about this Crémant de Bourgogne. Aaron, I'm going to go to you first, buddy.
Yeah. We kept our cards pretty close to our vest this episode. We did not slip up. We did not let folks know if we liked it or not. And I gotta say, I like it. I am enjoying it. I am enjoying sipping on it. It is the kind of sparkling wine or Crémant that makes me want to start keeping sparkling wines around the house just to have every now and then, which I know is something that Joel advocated for like very early on. It's just like, it should be socially acceptable just to drink a sparkling wine. It's enjoyable. It's really well balanced. It's obviously like relatively low alcohol. And yeah, I have no complaints. And again, going to the piece that we always try to bring in at the end of this show, just to be really fair and obvious, like at the price point of $25-ish, it is a good deal to have a quality sparkling wine from a region in France at this price point. So I like it.
And where are you putting this sparkling wine?
I'm putting this firmly on the kitchen table, and then I am bothering everyone around me about what a Crémant is and the history of all that fun stuff we talked about earlier, and chasing them around until they don't want to listen to me anymore.
You totally would be that guy.
Yeah.
I am definitely that guy.
Colin, what do you think?
Yeah, I like it too. Is it miles ahead better of the Veuve that we tried a couple weeks ago? No. Do I enjoy it slightly more? A little bit, yeah. I think it's slightly more complex with some of the bready notes. Is the value much better at $25.99? Yeah, for almost the same wine. Again, I like this one a little bit more, but for almost the same wine, would I rather have this at $26 over that at $50 every single time? So I'm putting this one on the kitchen table. I think it's a good wine. I'd be happy to pop this for friends, just having people over. I think it would be a really cool celebration wine too. Like I think it's elevated enough that you can bring this somewhere and open it and impress some people. So yeah, I'm putting it on the kitchen table.
Yeah, and Colin, I know you kind of set out to prove that point a little bit on this one, and you set yourself up and said, hey, can we find something as good, better value? And I will say, I think you did it. I think you nailed it. This is, I agree with you guys. Really, really nice. Maybe just a little bit more actually going on with this one, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I mean, I was obviously a big fan of the Veuve, but I think you hit everything you wanted to do here. As good, if not slightly better, I will say, and half that price point, you can't beat it. So
yep,
totally agree. Going on the kitchen table, and pretty clear here, folks, not a waste of your wine at all. would
no,
definitely
absolutely not.
recommend trying this one out. I'll say too, we talked a lot too about just the the name of Veuve and the label and all that cool stuff, and it's really fancy to bring over to a friend's place. And yeah, definitely, this doesn't have maybe quite the same name brand value, but label wise, this looks really nice, very elegant, very elevated, like you said. Great presentation. Would definitely be very comfortable walking into a party or whatever, bringing this one as well. So not only does it back itself up with the flavor and the profile, but just the presentation also super nice. Doesn't have the same cachet, but great looking bottle.
Very elegant.
All right. So there you have it, guys. Another review in the books. This is the Louis Bouillot Crémant de Bourgogne.
God damn it.
Not a waste of your wine. Definitely recommend giving it a go. Aaron, do me a favor. If somebody wanted to talk to us, hang out, see what we got going on when we're not together recording our wonderful episodes, because we don't do this all the time. This isn't like a 24/7 thing. We do other stuff.
Speak for yourself.
Where can folks go to interact with us?
There are so many ways people can interact with us.
Oh.
I mean, first and foremost, visit our website, stopwastingyourwine.com, which is definitely going to be updated to have our last 10 episodes or so / merch to buy our future merchandise. It is coming because it's all very clever, I'm sure. 1. 2, our Instagram account is just really blowing up. It's awesome. There's so many cool people online.
Yeah.
People talk all the time about how the internet is just full of terrible people. They're clearly not interacting with the folks that we are interacting with on Instagram, who are just like the friendliest, coolest. I had the nicest person today reaching out, pitching like all these Australian wines to me, being like, I listened to your show. It was great. You guys do some Aussie wines.
Aww.
And then I was like, sweet, send me something that we can get on the East Coast. And she texted back a few minutes later being like, y'all have the worst selection of Aussie wines in America. I feel bad for you. And I'm like, oh no, I'm so sorry. But we had this like really long back and forth, and it was awesome. We have over 1,200 followers on Instagram now. It's great. Check us out at Stop Wasting Your Wine. Hang out with Colin on Facebook. It's like a support group. It's really neat. It's cozy. Had someone else today reach out with some suggestions about a future episode we should do. I just am really enjoying talking to people about the show. It's just great. So check out the website, check out the Instagram, check out the Facebook. Find us on YouTube as well if you want to see our faces just a little bit more. And also you can listen to us there as well if you are a YouTuber and want to use that algorithm to find something that's not terrible.
The Stop Wasting Your Wine community really blowing up, full of good people. If you're not part of it,
love you guys.
Hang out. Yeah, and thanks, like Aaron was saying, thanks to everybody who is hanging out and talking to us. We love it. And if you do have any ideas, too, out there, wines or something you want us to talk about or something, let us know. We're always open. Always open.
All those Crémant stands out there, like, hit us up. We're ready for you.
This is finally, this is your episode. Can we start calling everybody Stop Wasting Your Winos now? I pitched this really early on, like episode 2 or 3, and you guys were very anti the Stop Wasting Your Winos moniker. And I feel like here we are. It's episode 25. We have a community. Can we officially institute Stop Wasting Your Winos, please?
As soon as someone voluntarily hashtags themselves as a Stop Wasting Your Wino, we can have that label. I just need one human
somebody out there do me a
who
favor.
is listening to this to post something and hashtag Stop Wasting Your Wino, and we can make Joel's dream come true. But otherwise, I'm not endorsing that until someone else who's not sitting in their room on a podcast mic.
Aaron, plug your ears for a second. Listener, please do me. You heard it here. All we need is one person to go out there. Just put it out there. Stop wasting your wino. You can be the first Stop Wasting Your Wino. Maybe I'll send you a sticker or something. We got to make stickers, by the way. Let me take a note.
Stickers are coming soon.
Let's make this happen.
Certified Toasty Boys, certified Porch Pounders.
We got a lot.
Pizza wines.
We haven't had a porch pounder in a while, have we?
That's true. Ooh, we'll find our next CPP. That's for sure.
Yeah.
It's just wine.
Yeah, it's just wine. It's just wine, guys.
Yeah, make it.
Don't make a big deal out of it. It's just wine. All right. Thank you. We've wasted enough of your time here at the end of this show. Thank you for joining us. This has been very fun. Hope you learned a little bit of something. I know I did. Catch us next time. Looking forward to it. Remember, stop wasting your wine.
Bye, all.
Bye.